the microphone is hot, the hosts are gathered. Welcome to the inaugural episode of Outright on Air. This is the official podcast of Outright Youth based in Hickory, North Carolina, and we are recording this from the Outright Center in Hickory. My name is Faith Naff, your moderating host for this episode. She and her pronouns. I am here with three other hosts that are going to be sharing the space with me. Lily, let's start with you.
Lily, she, her.
D, she, her.
And I'm Charlie. I'm gender fluid, so my pronouns may be subject to change. But for this evening, I will be she, her.
Subject to change. Terms and conditions may apply.
Well, I just don't want
Please see store for details.
Subscribe or anything.
Asterisk at the bottom.
That's how we get you.
My gender has appendices. You might be wondering what the heck we're doing here. And to an extent, we don't know ourselves because we're all trying this out for the first time. But this show is going to be an outreach project of Outright. We want to be able to bring what we do here at the center as far as meetings and connectivity and just basic outreach into the homes of those who can't get here. We're not live, so obviously you can't call in or text in or whatever during the recording, but we want you to send us messages. We want you to send us emails. We'll post all that in the links that will be under the recording, and that way you can be a part of what we do here at Outright without having to actually be at the center. Now, we want you to be at the center. We absolutely want you to be here, but in case you can't, this is your way of joining us in this conversation.
Just not the same without you, babies.
Also, if you can be here once a week, for example, for our youth group, and that's just not enough, then we're also giving you this gift wrapped up in a bow.
My thought process also was, you've got so many kids that they might know about Outright, but they're thinking, I can't even come out to my parents, let alone them be able, them let me go to, quote unquote, the gay center in Hickory. That's not going to happen. And I'm going to put my phone on vibrate so it'll stop going ba-ding, ba-ding, ba-ding. There we go.
Now I'll just hear the vibrating. It's fine.
I put it on actual, silent mode. See, you would think I'm going to cut this out, but I'm not. This is the fun banter that people get to listen to. The spontaneity, exactly.
What's weird is that before we started recording, I was like, I got this. I'm going to talk up a storm, but now I'm just afraid. Just in general.
Charlie's sitting there going, what are words? I forgot how to word.
Oh,
remember the cat, Charlie.
Oh, yes. Prior to our recording, I'm going to rustle this paper so you know it's here. Okay, so it's very real. There is a cat I have drawn, who I have named Freckles Hubert Cumberdale. He is very fat, and personally he gives me strength, and I hope he does it to you too.
He's adorable. I can vouch for that.
Oh, should we post this on the page?
We will totally post it on the page.
We'll post a picture of Freckles.
Freckles Hubert Cumberdale, please. Treat him with respect.
Can I get a name tag just for the first day?
Yeah.
I am already so happy we're doing this.
Okay. You leave Freckles alone.
We are 4 minutes in, and this is already the best experience I could have possibly hoped for.
It's a lot of fun.
So far, so good.
Now, Outright does offer a lot of different services, and one of the things we're going to do in this first episode is talk a little bit in depth about them. Now, when we get a little more established, and we're doing this every other Sunday, by the way, this show will come out every other Sunday, at that point we will talk about what's coming up a little more vaguely, but for this first one, I want to hit all of the services we offer and really talk about what they are and what they do for people. Mm-hmm. So, first one, of course, the real big one is the youth group that meets every Monday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And it doesn't matter how you identify. It's everywhere on the spectrum of sexuality and gender identity.
Right.
It's and this is including straight people.
It include allies, definitely.
Yeah, we definitely want allies here. If you are an ally of the LGBT community, or you are a member of the LGBT community, and you are youth, and what's the age cap on that?
Ages 13 to 23.
13 to 23. If you fall within that, every Monday night from 6 to 8, this center is open as a meeting ground for those people.
I also want to throw in like a helpful tip. They used to do this back in the day, which is why it's LGBTQA. The A, like, I guess technically does stand for ally, because back in the day, you know, if you weren't in a place where you could come out, you would just tell people, oh, I'm an ally. So if you're in a position where you maybe can't come out as, you know, whatever you are, you might just want to be like, oh no, I'm just an ally. I just really love gay people. So
See, that's one of the great arguments for going from LGBT to Saga. I don't know if y'all have ever heard about that.
no, I've heard of Sega. But
Yes.
not Saga.
Saga is a sexuality and gender alliance. And basically it's a way of not having to keep tacking on letters to the end of that acronym.
Right.
The LGBTQ, IABRB, PDQ, BDQ.
R-E-S-B-E-C-T. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not something that's really caught on yet, but I would like to see it that way just because it includes everyone without having to be, like, the whole freaking alphabet.
Well,
have
there
this-
are a lot of people who are very, like, gung-ho, like, it has to be LGBT or, you know, QA. A lot of people don't even want QA on it because they think they're like, well, people fought and died for those letters, so... I mean, I personally, it's just an acronym to me. I'm in the community. It's, you know.
Yeah, that's all that matters to me. It's just being in the community.
That's what we need.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, on Wednesdays, there's different things that go on Wednesdays. Obviously, every other Wednesday, we actually record this show. So if you want to be a part of Outright on Air, be sure to drop us a line. We are asking that it be only people who are interacting with the center, either as volunteers or as members.
18 and up.
Oh, yeah.
Podcast?
Yeah,
Yes,
18
18 and up.
Yeah, please,
Okay.
18 and up. Yeah. You see, you could have just said that. Yeah, that's how recording works. We're talking about it, so you can just say 18 and up, please.
Maybe I wanted to use cool hand signals.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm
sure
signing
that-
to the person who is our guest for the evening.
Secret mystery
One,
guest right now.
And then the number 8 with my fingers, and then a thumbs up, like 18 and up for that, right?
So,
Yes.
Wait, so you're saying someone else is here?
Oh, gosh.
The calls are coming from inside the house.
If there is a spirit in this room, I call to you. Okay.
And now we're going to the sound
And what is Casper
segment.
doing in here?
This house is clean. I feel like a lot of this podcast is just going to be awkward, like sessions of us just giggling, and then
That's the fun of podcasts. That's what makes it fun.
we should cut out all the laughter so it's just totally silent. No jokes land. Nothing.
It's just like hanging out with Faith on a normal day.
Oh, the shade of it all.
Oh, I'm gonna remember that. You're gonna get yours later.
Are we gonna have our first fight like one episode in? Are we
On air drama.
Guys, are we breaking up? This band is everything.
We have so many years together. So many platinum albums. Remember when we toured Paris?
Oh gosh.
Remember when we were in the conference room? More like that. Talking over McDonald's? Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, conference room. You've been a great crowd.
No, to be fair, I am very upset that you brought McDonald's because now I have an urgent craving. Like, it's not a medical emergency, but we're getting there.
But it might as well be, right? It's like, is it a medical emergency? It's close enough.
Lines, like, very close.
All right, we're getting off topic. What's about this center now?
On the Wednesdays after the other every other Wednesday, we have the adult transgender support group that meets here at 7 p.m. I actually host that, so feel free to drop me a line if you got more questions about it. But since we have a trans youth group, which meets the second Thursday of every month at 7 p.m., but that caps at what, 22? 22,
I think
23?
you told me 22 before.
It's either 22 or 23. I can't remember. But if you've aged out of that, then this is a place for you to go because, and the way that I mentioned it to the person who runs the center, Marianne, who I talked to about this earlier, there's so many things here for youth, but we need more support for adults in this area because there's a lot of transgender people in the Hickory area, a lot, more than even I thought there were until I really got involved with the community. But being an adult and trans has its own challenges. It has its own things you have to worry about, like insurance and raising a family and your mortgage and coming out to your boss and all those other things. So it's a place where we can talk about those more grown-up centric issues when it comes to being transgender.
And the next meeting for both will be on the 7th of June.
Yes.
And I'm also going to be there. I'm only 22, so I'm not quite on the brink of these adult issues quite yet. But I do find it's just an overall supportive group to go and kind of talk about. Like, for instance, one of the problems I've been having recently is with gender fluidity and kind of feeling like you don't really belong in either category, you know what I mean? And the group's been really supportive, and it's a great, no judgment, come in, just kind of, we just lounge around and talk about what's bothering us. So I definitely recommend coming by and just checking it out.
It's a great experience. We're all friendly.
Okay.
And it's taken off too. I mean, we used to be monthly, and now we had to make it twice a month because the demand was there.
And to recap, that's the youth group meets every Monday from 6 to 8, and we have drop-in hours for youth also every Wednesday from 3 to 6. That's every single week.
Now, is that just youth group, or is that a trans youth group?
That is LGBTQIA.
Okay.
The trans specific one is the second Thursday at 7.
Okay.
Mondays is all LGBT youth.
Gotcha. Just wanted to make sure.
Now, PFLAG also meets here on the third Thursday of every month. Calendar says 6:30. I thought it was 7.
What is PFLAG?
Parents and Friends of Lesbians and Gays. Oh. It's basically an organization for parents. That's how it started. Is like with the whole, my kid came out to me, what the heck do I do?
Right.
It's a resource for people like that. Now, it's since grown to include gender identity issues as well, and a lot of parents whose kids come out to them as trans do find great community, great solace in the PFLAG group.
Right.
They just never changed their name to include gender identity. Mm. But Kathy Wood, right, is the person who runs that. She's phenomenal. I love her to death. She's one of my favorite people. But 6:30 to 8 on the third Thursday of the month, if you are an adult of a LGBT child or just an ally of them and want to help out other adults. Now, I would like you to talk about connections, because that's kind of your thing.
Yes. So this is D, which should, I guess, maybe be obvious by now. But anyways, so the Connections group is just getting off the ground, and it is for it's kind of the stepping stone. So Faith talked about the stepping stone from the youth trans to the adult trans group. And so we're trying to make that stepping stone for the LGBTQ youth group. Mm-hmm. So right now our group is from 13 to 23, which is actually a really big age span. Mm-hmm. So the Connections group is for people who are 18 to 30. And we meet the first Wednesday of every month from 7 to 8:30.
And that's PM, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Most meetings happen at night.
Yeah. I just wanted to clarify, because Lord knows, I literally ask that question all the time. Like, someone could literally say, it'll be at 2, and I mean, like, do you mean 2 in the morning?
I was trying to figure out if you were joking, because I was like, yes.
I mean,
the listeners cannot see the weird stare
you're right,
you gave.
Yeah, I'm giving, you'll just have to imagine the weird looks, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I would like to verify that I do feel very attacked right now. Will not be back next week. Thank you for your time.
Now, the first Saturday of every month is Coffee and Conversation. Now, I really enjoy doing this. It's from 10 to 11:30 a.m. It's for anyone, like literally anybody who wants to come in.
Right.
But we have, I mean, it's in the name. We have coffee and conversation. There's coffee, there's light refreshments, and we talk about the center. We talk about things that are going on here. Things we would like to see go on here. We make plans. We come up with new events. This podcast actually was born from a conversation at this event. Gotcha. The adult trans group was born from a conversation at that event.
And what the leader of this building, this big gay building,
Mary Ann.
Mary Ann. I will say it's really easy, because even before this podcast started, I was talking to her because this is the first time I met her. I just moved into the town in August, and so I've been new to this general area, but I've only been here. When was the first time I came here? It was like 4 weeks ago for the first adult trans meeting. Sorry, I just got way off track.
You're fine. Ooh, shiny.
Yeah, no, pretty much.
Pretty butterflies.
I definitely want to get more into the center and volunteer, and obviously I would like to become a staple on the podcast. So
Now, just a minute ago, you were ready to leave.
okay, well, you know what?
Little Miss, I feel attacked.
What about subject to change? Do you not understand? That is the whole identity. Okay. But anyway, the point that I'm rambling to is, like, it's very easy to come in. I talked to Marianne. I had an idea. I'll probably be here for this Saturday's coffee and chat. I brought up possibly, like, a movie night for the center, you know, coming in, having viewings. And I have tons of DVDs myself, and I would love to meet, you know, everybody in the area and really just get my foot in the door. And it's super easy to come in and just talk, and there's really no judgment at all. I mean, all ideas are good ideas, I think. I mean, I'm not sure because I've only put in one, but yeah.
So I got an idea. Let's do something fun. Brilliant. Now, for those of you who are listening and going, this center sounds awesome. Where the heck is it? We will post the address in the comments section or in the description for where we post the show. So we will make sure you are able to find the center.
And the address is also on the Facebook page.
Yeah, it's on the Facebook page as well. But the website is what? outrightyouthcv.org?
Yes.
Am I right? Okay, outrightyouthcv.org is the place to go for basically any information about what's going on here whatsoever.
All the calendar information we want over is there. And there, you can contact us that way. You can find the address, which we're very close to downtown. If you're local, we're very close to downtown Hickory. Phone numbers on there, all the information.
Now, if you would like to communicate with the show, we are on Facebook. The way to find us is at Outright On Air. So that's the way to find us. I'll set us up a Twitter as well.
Oh, gosh.
Oh,
That's really
gosh.
official. Well, see, the thing is, what's funny is that I didn't even know we had a Facebook, so I'm learning with the viewers. Okay, well, you guys added me to the group chat, okay? No one told me. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
I will send you a page invite now.
See, guys, it's just that easy. Okay, so reach out to us. You can find it, no problem.
This is all in real time. Now, there is also the book club, and I'll be honest, I don't know much about that one, so I'm going to turn it over to you again.
That'll be me as well. So we have 2 book clubs.
She knows everything.
It seems like I know everything, but I don't. Then there will be a moment when you ask me a question and I'm going to be like, I don't know. So we have 2 book clubs. We have a youth book club that is for our Monday night meeting group. It's during that time, just because it's the most convenient time for our youth to be able to come out. Mm-hmm. That is kind of on hold at the moment, but I would love for this podcast to bring a ton of people in, and not just people, but people who like to read and have time to read and talk about the books with me.
I will say, like,
what did you read last time?
We started out, the first book we read was called Freak Camp, and it had a little bit of paranormal aspect in it. It was really, really good.
Do you all keep it to a specific genre of books, or is it, or like subset like young adult, or what do you dive into
and
there?
how do you decide which book to do?
So this was our first one, and I actually chose the book. I have a background in education. So I looked at the ages of the people who were interested. They also did a Google survey for me to let me know what they were interested in. And then went through and I just kind of looked around for different books. I'm like, this looks really interesting. And a lot of them liked the paranormal aspect. Mm-hmm. We try to keep it to LGBTQ themed.
Right. PDQ.
Themed, yeah.
LOL, BRB. ROFL.
Jinx, now Fake has to get me a soda.
So, do the okay.
Hey, you were mean to me earlier. Turnabout's fair play.
To the viewers,
I gave her
home,
Lily's soda, and she gave me a look.
Well,
Okay.
I didn't see that soda on the other end of the table, so I literally just thought that you just pulled a soda from the void. Apparently, the void.
I have magic powers.
Apparently, the void endorses Coca-Cola. So,
The void. What
but
void?
do the kids have to pay for the books themselves, or?
Okay, so we have, if the kids are able, it's a matter, we have assistance as needed.
Right.
Basically. And so another thing too is if you aren't out, then you might not, depending on the book. Now this book just like literally just has a girl, looks like she's at summer camp, she's jumping in front of a lake. Like there's not like rainbows flashing on it that's like super gay. So like you can carry this book around and not be concerned about it. But if one thing a lot of our kids read online, whether or like on their phones or on a device, so they read on Kindle or they read on whatever the equivalent is on Google Play, so they can get the ebook, and that's on your phone. You can't see that.
It's a lot cheaper too,
and it's also cheaper. That's the other thing. But this book is called Freak Camp by Jessica Barnett, and it is available on Kindle and Amazon. That's it. Otherwise, it's out of print. But it's such a good book. And so it's about a 13-year-old who ends up exploring her own sexuality and kind of first coming into it. As a bonus, there's not just one gay character in the whole book. Her moms are gay. She has 2 gay moms.
Yeah, thank God.
And so, and then the
she has 2 moms and they're both straight. It's really awkward, but it makes for a good story.
That would be very awkward.
Very awkward, but also very interesting. So we'll talk about writing that later.
We'll collaborate. Have your people call my people. We'll pitch it to Penguin.
I have to get some people first, but okay. So,
getting kids to read is always a good thing.
Yes.
Well, would you say the representation in the book? So you've read it, right?
Yes, and let me add the one more other cool part about it, the paranormal part.
She's turning the show into book club.
It's one thing. Just let me spit it out, and then
let me have this.
Problem.
leave my friend alone.
So they, in this world that they've created, everybody has a source. It's either earth, air, water, or fire. And so this particular character is not only coming into her sexual identity and how she feels or thinks she feels because she's 13, and so things can change.
Right.
Like you don't always know for
sexuality
sure at 13.
Can be
like
fluid.
Exactly, it can be fluid, and so she also doesn't know what her source is going to be, and most people have already come into their source by this age. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of explores her adventures during the summer as she figures that out.
Sounds like a really good book.
And I did that because, see, even if you're at home, you can still read a book, even if you're not here.
Yeah,
you can message us, and I will talk with you about it.
Is that something I doubt that would be something they would have at the local library, though.
This one, this is not available. This one is not available at the local library, unfortunately. It is available, like I said, on Amazon.
Okay, so when this airs, guys, get to reading. I expect a book report on my desk by Monday. No excuses.
Oh, my dog ate it.
Oh, wait, I just realized I gave them literally like less than a day to do it. It comes out Monday.
I would rather do a book report than an essay about it.
Just look it up, Google, Wikipedia. I don't care what teachers say, it can be trusted.
Spark Notes. That's still a thing, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Isn't Spark Notes still a thing?
Well, I was a good...
I'm old. I've not been in school for a while.
Yes, Spark Notes.
You're 10 years younger than me. You're not old.
Okay, well... What? Girl, you whispering. You might as well yell now. Come on.
It's a thing.
Well,
it's a thing. Yeah.
Unlike you heathens, I was a good children. I was a good children.
That's impressive, first of all.
Gender fluid also encapsulates multiple identities, subject to change. But no, I read my books, so y'all need to read your books. Get right with God.
English
please.
is your first language, right?
So strange voice in the background. Just go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Holly. I'm an intern at Outright.
Okay, to translate for those who can't hear, her name is Holly. She's an intern at Outright. And no, she's not our special guest for the evening. She's here to take photos of us. Mm-hmm. Candid, I think. Aren't you? That's what you're here for, right? Mm-hmm. She's a photographer.
I'm special, but I'm not a guest.
Oh.
Exactly. We're all special.
Yes, we are.
We're all God's children.
We are diving into a whole new can of worms there.
Okay, so book club. The other book club that we have an adult book club that meets once a month. The first book that we read was...
You'll remember.
Awesome.
The Holy Bible.
It was not the Bible. I
Do you
can tell
remember the
you
color
that.
of the book?
I do. I can see the cover of the book in my head, but I cannot remember the name of it. Hold on just a
What
second.
color was it?
It's purple.
By the way,
It's
if you guys
called-
hear paper rustling, that's me, because I keep forgetting that I'm on a podcast, and I've been playing with this piece of paper. So
Hey, at least you haven't scooted your chair. That would be the worst.
One day we'll all write notes and we'll remember all this stuff before we start talking.
I do want to
That's
say
okay.
that out of all these ladies, they put me in the worst position, because my foot is right next to the mic stand. I am this close to the line. I already feel like I'm the victim of this podcast. Like, my role has been cast.
The
You
victim.
picked your own seat.
How are you the victim?
Okay, first of all, you were... This isn't fair. You were sitting next to me, and then the podcast started, and you became a fake friend, and you went to the other side of the table. I'm just mad.
You're just mad.
I have a lot of feelings.
All feelings are welcome here.
Okay,
This is a
great.
safe space.
Oh.
That's the fun thing about outright.
Yeah.
Has a T on the
Outright.
end of it. Yeah, it has a T on the end of it. Outright is that it's a safe space.
Yeah, I don't...
And the other book that we read before I forget,
Okay, it's come back to her.
it came back to me. It's
We want
called-
to welcome you all to the book club podcast.
Yeah.
It's called Juliet Takes a Breath by Gabby Rivera, and it's actually really written by a really awesome queer Latina author. And so I definitely recommend that.
Does anybody else feel like Romeo and Juliet wouldn't have been so bad if it was like two women? Like, it wouldn't have gone so drastic with like stabbing yourself and everything. They would have just been like chill and like message each other on Facebook like normal people.
Nobody can see my facial expressions right
Yeah, actually, yeah, they can because we're doing a live Facebook Live right now.
I was
while
not
we
informed
record.
that we were doing live. Great. This is fantastic.
now. That depends. Let's
Well,
just leave it at that.
This concludes our first and last episode of the podcast. Thank you all for coming. Okay, let's move on past this book club nightmare.
You're
It-
moving on
it's-
past book club.
Yeah, it's apparently going to be a regular thing where Charlie threatens to quit during every episode. Now, one thing going on this month that I do want to talk about is the Equality March going on. It's on the 11th, which is a Sunday, and it's actually 1 week from when this will go out. Now, we will have some shuttling going on from the Outright Center to the march. My partner and I, we're bringing our minivan and bringing people down. I think some other people have offered to shuttle people down as well.
Where is it again?
It is in Charlotte. I can't remember the. I'm gonna pull it up real quick, but it's
The
actually
epicenter.
yeah, it's
the
it's
epicenter.
actually a national thing. Like everybody remembers after the inauguration of a certain
Demon.
orange faced cotton candy topped
You don't know how to treat cotton candy like that. It ain't that bad.
dictator in chief. There was the big women's march. They held simultaneous ones all over the country.
Right.
Well, we're doing that again, but this time it's about LGBT rights. So there's going to be a big march in Washington D.C. That's going to be the epicenter one. Mm-hmm. But in cities all over America, there's going to be actually, are they going to be worldwide this time? I know the women's march was worldwide.
I don't know much about it, to be perfectly honest.
I've just heard about it in this country so far.
Yeah, so
They're
I don't
having it
know if
in
that one's going to be worldwide
major
or
cities.
not, but I'm pulling up the page for national. That's the Washington D.C. one. No, back.
Girl, you gonna live record this whole thing?
And
You gotta
who
give him
made you
something
sign that thing?
gotta give him something to wait for, pine for.
I didn't know how long you wanted it.
That's fine.
I didn't know how long you wanted
Oh, that didn't see me, and I didn't mean to.
Okay.
Most of my tone does come off
it.
like.
No, you're good.
There we go. That's the one I needed. Okay, it is at 301 East 7th Street, which is First Ward Park, is where we're meeting at June 11th at noon. So I don't know the time that we're meeting here first, but we will put that in the comments and the description, so you will be able to do that. We would like you to let us know ahead of time. We are going to be so full of bloopers on this.
Oh my
episode.
gosh.
Got to be here at 10:30.
Okay, be here. Okay, yeah,
To leave the center
works.
at 10:30
Yeah, we're gonna
to
leave the
get
center at
there on
10:30.
time.
If you want to be a part of that, please message someone with Outright so we know how many people are coming. That way, we make sure we have enough seats to get as many people there as possible.
Right.
Also, I actually emailed the people in charge of the march in Charlotte because I have fibromyalgia, and so that makes it hard for me to walk long distances. And so I wanted to know what the how accessible this was to people and what their plans were.
Right.
And they emailed me back like a day later, so they're awesome. But the march is a little less than a mile, for those of you who might be wondering. And they also said that you can take the light rail, which is near the Imaginon, to the Weston, which is supposed to be close.
Mm-hmm.
You would have to navigate that, but apparently there is a light rail there that you can take, and they said otherwise you can always wait on Tryon Street and cheer everybody on. So if you're looking for a way to participate, but accessibility is an issue, then there's some options that maybe hopefully can help some people out.
And it's also important, just like as general like marching, like you should always please bring water, stay hydrated, and try to. I just get nervous around marches like this, especially with.
We had fun at the last one.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've never been to a march myself.
I'm actually wearing the T-shirt we got from that march.
But just
this was a climate change one.
Do you think it's like important to remain like civil or not? I'm trying to think how I should phrase this, because I am very afraid of like police, like in general, as someone who is.
Well, Lily and I went to the climate change march, which happened, about a month ago?
Yeah.
Something like that. And it was very civil. I mean,
Right.
we had no problems at all. But I do know that this is already planned with the city ahead of time. Mm-hmm. So there's not going to be any surprises. The police know that it's going to be going on. So it should be fine.
Right.
Now, the one thing I'll add to that is, in addition to bringing water and staying hydrated and everything, bring signs, bring flags, bring things to... show pride, support, that we're not backing down, that, certain people in certain administrations that make certain stupid laws are not going to make us go away.
And don't forget sunscreen. And maybe a light snack.
And as we talk about safety concerns, there was a concern about law enforcement and whether or not they would be supported. Or some people may have those concerns. Mm-hmm. And I think another part of my identity is that I'm biracial, and so I actually pass, but there are a lot of people out there who do not pass. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of people of color, minorities who are part of the LGBTQ community,
right?
And so that is a very real concern for a lot of people. So I think that's a valid.
That's what I was afraid of.
Oh, it is,
like,
yeah.
For different people for different reasons,
right? Because we all know that like. It's a really setback, but like you can do nothing wrong and still get arrested sometimes, depending.
Especially if you're not white.
Yeah, no, that's a big thing. That is a huge thing.
And so I think that was important that you brought that up.
Right.
I appreciate that you brought that up, actually. So that's something that you kind of have to consider. I don't have really any good advice on what to do about it, unfortunately, but that's just consider it, and consider, as
with your sexual orientation, there's nothing you can do about the color of your skin,
right?
Well, and there shouldn't have to be anything that you should have to do to deal with it, but the sad truth is they do.
Well, I guess what I was trying to say is like, I imagine at a protest it gets very passionate, so if there are probably going to be people there who are going to, basically internet trolls are going to crawl out of their cave and try to bother people. So
have you ever been to a protest?
No.
Okay.
It's very positive from my experience, and most of the time if you're going to a very organized thing, they have to buy permits from the city. So I know at the Equality March there will be streets shut down, which is run by the police.
Right.
So for the most part, the police that are working it are generally supportive, right? So they don't obviously want you causing trouble, but most people are not. They're just really passionate about what they're doing, and they honestly, I always think it's a great atmosphere because you're around people that are passionate about the same things you are, and you like lift each other up, and
we saw a few protesters at the gay pride thing. Right?
Well, that's what I was talking about. That was
just unfortunate, but
right.
I really hope her voice picked up. She is sitting like 5 feet from the microphone. It's only supposed to have about a 2-foot radius.
Well, you guys know what I'm saying, right? About the whole thing. It's just like, if someone is there and is like actively trying to bother you, just please keep your wits about you. Don't touch another person, because if you touch them, that can be blown immediately out of proportion, especially if they're against you.
Just to let you know, I have been to multiple marches and protests in Charlotte. I've
Right.
never seen a problem.
Right. Well, this is coming from someone
I've seen counter protesters and I've seen arguments, but I've never seen actual violence or arrests or
Last time
anything.
they were blowing the horns in support of the
Yeah.
environment.
Well, like I said, I've never been to a protest. I mean, just consider it just like that's me, like my panic, like, oh God, the worst case scenario. But just please be careful and please be safe.
Now, am I forgetting anything important here? You handed me this a second ago.
The youth, a correction to our youth group with LGBTQ, and then also our trans youth group is the ages are 12 to 23.
Okay.
12 to 23.
That's the youth group, you said?
Yes.
You handed me a pamphlet and said, look at this paragraph. I'm like, what part?
I pointed to but it's okay.
Should we read the whole thing?
There's some light reading while we're doing a podcast. If you could multitask, I'd appreciate it.
Just 10 minutes of silence. I feel like that was informative.
Read this in 10 seconds.
And would you make me coffee while you're at it? Thanks. Okay, so like I said at the beginning, the first episode of this, we really wanted to focus on the LGBT Center here as a whole, because it's quite an amazing place, and not just the place, but everything that is provided here. I got involved with Outright about a year ago, and even in my year, I've seen it grow exponentially. Like it's incredible the things I've witnessed.
Right.
So I'm also really eager to learn about the history and where all this came from. So we have with us here Anna Watson, who is the Associate Executive Director of Outright Youth, and she joins us in the studio today. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Make sure you speak. There you go. So,
Talk, woman, speak.
Anna has this look on her face like she's just been reprimanded and she's like 6.
oh, I forgot
Faith
they're going
is
to make.
very commanding.
I forgot they're going to make us word.
Do what she says.
I don't know how to
She might
word.
be armed.
So, are you having fun? We're having a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. This is a lot of fun. Yeah. Thanks for having me here.
So obviously, for the LGBT community of Hickory, this is a godsend.
It is.
Really. So what I like to start off with is, how did this, not just the building, we'll get to the building, but Outright Youth or Outright Hickory as an organization, what's sort of the catalyst of that and how this come to being?
Right. So in 2010, a local doctor here in the Catawba Valley realized that we needed this. There was a need for a place for LGBTQ youth and their allies to come, a safe place where they could come and be themselves. So Dr. Long, along with some of his friends, came together and created Outright. Again, it was in 2010. We started out at a church. Our Monday night group sessions were at a local church here that allowed us to use their facilities for free. And then I know we're going to talk about this later, but we have since moved into our own place. It is fantastic that you guys have heard about on this podcast. So like I said, we'll get to that. But we started in 2010. Dr. Long here in Hickory saw the need and started it.
Do you just have something you wanted to say?
I was here when we started, actually, in 2010. And we actually started, because I feel like it adds to our story, we started in a coffee shop, actually. You know where Tasteful Beans is?
That's right.
That's okay.
That's right.
And see,
Yeah.
Anna is our new associate director, and so she's still learning all of our history and, like, coming into it.
And I will say that, like, when I first came into this facility, I was very much surprised. From the outside, it doesn't look like a whole lot. Like, there's not... I promise you, if you, like, come into this building, there's not going to be, like, gay flags waving everywhere. Okay?
Well, we're going to get into the center here in a minute.
Oh, I see.
But now you've not been with Outright for a long time, right?
For about 3 years.
3 years. So what kind of impact have you seen it have on either individuals, you don't have to give names or anything, but individuals or groups or metrics small or large? What kind of impact have you seen it have?
Absolutely. Well, I started as a volunteer. So being with the kids or with the youth on Monday nights, it's you witness kids come in that are just questioning themselves sometimes. Sometimes they know, but they're unable to be out to their family. They're unable to be out to their friends. They're not out at school. But they come to the center and quickly realize that this is a place where they can completely be themselves. So you see, or I have seen, several kids come in who will sit by themselves for a Monday night session for the entire 2 hours, not speak to anybody. And then after a few weeks, they start interacting, and you really see them become their own. And so it's really fun to see, and it's exciting, and it makes it worth doing what we do to see the kids realize that this is a place that they can come and be themselves with no judgment, and it's a safe place, and they can just completely be themselves.
Yeah,
so that's
first time you get around somebody that's the same as you, it's quite an experience.
Yeah. So it's nice to see that. It's nice to see the kids grow and become, amazing individuals and just become, be themselves, able to be themselves.
Right.
So it's that growth is exciting.
So let's talk about the center itself now, because this building is amazing.
It is.
It
is.
I remember walking in here after we had acquired it like 3 days before, and it was an abandoned office building, basically. The floors were ugly. There was nothing in here. And just in a few months, the transformation has been impeccable.
Right.
I mean, it's just an unbelievable change. So let's hear about how the center was acquired. And I know a lot of organizations and people came together with donations of time, money, goods. How did this all sort of come to be?
So obviously, from the beginning, our main goal has been to have our own space. So for, 6 years, we did fundraising. We've acquired individual donations. And so it was about August of last year, we had a subcommittee within our executive board who searched for a space, and they found this amazing space here. Again, you can go to our website, or I think on the Facebook page, we're going to have the address to the location, but they found this amazing space. And like Faith said, it was not amazing so much when we found it. It was blue industrial carpet and beige walls, and just not very exciting, but we were super fortunate to have the support of Mitchell Gold and Bob Williams, as well as some other folks. We've got, like I said, a lot of donors that have made this possible.
I just want to say real quick, when you think gay, you think bright and colorful. This was the opposite of that.
It was.
When we first acquired it, it was the opposite of that.
It was. It definitely was. So Mitchell Gold and Bob Williams sent us one of their designers. So he came in, and we've painted the walls, and they donated this bright, beautiful, modern furniture. We did get rid of the blue industrial carpet, so that's no longer here. So yeah, we've like I said, through a lot of donations and through a lot of help from the community, we've been able to make this place. What the youth wanted it to be gay colors. So I don't know if y'all feel like that. It represents gay colors, but that's kind of what the youth are going for.
I think gay colors is all colors.
Okay, it's very colorful. It is very colorful.
That's the whole point of the rainbow flag. Is it's about that diversity, that spectrum. It's every possible thing together. So
I mean, it's pink.
It's not because it's pink.
Everything in here is very trendy, and I was very surprised when I first came here, because before this, I lived in West Virginia, and it was an area where I was threatened to be murdered for being gay. I was not out as gender fluid or anything like that. The voice that I'm speaking with now is not the voice I spoke with then. Like, back then, I had to,
Oh, God, she's going to do it.
Okay. Well, okay, now I have to do it. Thanks, Faith. But people around there talk like this. And I didn't always talk like this, really. I mean, it was just only when I was at gas stations getting gas. But actually, so coming here was really interesting for me, because it's so, to me, it's almost like finally being able to live my life as who I am. And I really, that's what I want for, everyone listening to this podcast, because I was in one of the worst places you could be if you were different, let alone gay or genderqueer or anything. And now I'm here, and this place has let me be unashamed to be myself. And, Faith is someone who has really helped me come into my own. I've only recently started presenting as a girl in public, which is really big to me. So anyway, this whole center, even for just the 4 times I've been here, has been incredible, and the people here are amazing, and I would thoroughly recommend at least checking it out if you can.
By the way, just want to interject this real quick. Listeners, if you want to get involved in this conversation, post a comment below the podcast. We want to hear testimonials. What has Outright meant to you? What difference has it made in your life? Okay, going back to Anna, what do you see the future of Outright to be as far as new programs, new things where it branches out? What's on the horizon for this organization?
Well, we want to, like you guys discussed earlier, right now we have 2 different days for the youth to come in. We have Mondays, which is a more structured session where we have guest speakers come in, just, life skills kind of thing for our youth. And then Wednesdays drop in. They can just come in. We have a PS4. We have the Wii. We have Apple TV. We have a computer lab that they can come in and do some homework, food that they can come in and eat after school. So we would like to have more of that. We would like to have more days that our center is open, that the youth can just come in, drop in, maybe have, more structured sessions as well. We want to open it up to more adult groups as well. You guys, again, talked about the adult groups, but we definitely want to expand upon that. We also want to get into the school systems and into the communities and speak to teachers and counselors and police officers and we want to get in the community, have a presence in the community, just to do educational things, teach people about Outright, teach people about what it means to be an ally, different things like that. So we definitely want to have a bigger presence in the community.
Now, I know one thing I discussed with Marianne one time, who's the executive director, right, of Outright, is we'd like to get more straight kids in here.
Absolutely. We certainly would. Yeah, we definitely are a center for LGBTQ and their allies. So absolutely, we want the allies to come in. We want this space to be a place for them as well. So it's all youth. It's all youth from 12 to 23 with our group sessions, and then our adult sessions. It's all adults as well. So we're definitely all inclusive, for sure.
Awesome. So one more quick personal question. Since you've been with Outright for 3 years now, what would you say you have personally contributed to this organization since you came here?
Oh, well.
What would not be here if not for Anna Watson?
She's got that dazzling personality.
Before I just recently took this position as Associate Executive Director. Before I was on the Board of Directors, and a lot of what I did was fundraising. So our signature event planned and did that, and that's our big fundraising event for the year. So I guess I would say fundraising and getting out in the community, getting our name out, and that's what I hope to continue to do.
Fellow hosts,
the gala was amazing.
It was
amazing.
That was one of the best nights of my life.
Well, good.
The gala is what exactly?
That's our signature event. It's an annual event that we do. It's our biggest fundraiser. It's going to be February 3rd of 2018, and it is at the Cafe Roll Wine Bar here in Hickory. And it's a very fun night. We come together. Our largest donors are there. It's just a fun night where we can all be together, all, like minds come together, celebrate Outright, celebrate what we have here and what we do and are able to do for the children, and have a really good dinner, and, some speakers. So it's just a fun night, good dinner, good drinks, and fundraise for Outright.
Well, it sounds really fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So tickets will be on sale at the end of the year. I know we'll talk about it again probably in another podcast.
So fellow hosts, do you have any questions for Anna?
I do. As I talked earlier about being one of the original members here. And so one of the things, seeing all this growth has been amazing, because when I went away to college, I had kind of stepped back from the group, and I just came back recently in March. And so I've been able to see the space come into being, and to be able to switch from being a youth to a volunteer has been awesome. But one of the things that's kind of near and dear to my heart, because I am biracial, I'm black and white, and so you kind of like you notice when you're the only trans or gay or lesbian or whatever person in the room. You also notice when you're the only person of color in the room. And so do we have plans, does Outright have plans to kind of reach communities that we aren't reaching right now?
We absolutely want to add, not only kids to our center, but diversity to our center. And we do have plans to do community events just to get our name out, just to have a bigger presence in the community. So our hope is, if we can get to these events, if we can get to, not only Catawba Pride, but, other events, Oktoberfest and other things in the community, if we can get there and get our name out, then we'll get more kids in. That is definitely something that we want to do. So yes, we do have plans to do more community events to just, like I said, have a bigger presence in the community in the hopes that it brings in more children.
Exactly.
This podcast can also be a good way to reach other people as well.
Right.
That's true.
As long as it gets advertised to those communities, I mean, doesn't matter where you're at, you can download it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
I also, about the podcast, we are sharing it on a free platform right now, but depending on the traction that it gets, we might boost it and maybe, I don't know, really contribute more into it. So if this is something that you enjoy, I would certainly, like me personally, I don't want to speak for the whole group, but I would like to hear feedback and what you'd like to see. And if you like it, maybe share it around for your friends so we can get more views and kind of keep it rolling.
She said views for a podcast.
Okay, well,
They do have to. They have to view it though to listen
Yeah,
to it.
Faith.
You have to view it to download it.
yeah,
But
leave me
We
alone.
want more listens, I guess.
Yeah.
Is that the word for it?
Yeah.
Some people might be able to see sound too. You never know.
Yeah.
That exactly.
Frankly, that just concerns me. I mean,
Any other questions for Anna?
No, just a statement. I would just like to say that I really appreciate the center being here for people like us to meet. And, you meet some really nice people here.
You do.
And you get support.
Absolutely.
After I met Faith, it was, I found a fast friend and we hang out together all the time and stuff like that. And,
She's my shopping buddy.
Yeah,
yeah.
She has impeccable taste.
it's a wonderful place to meet people.
It is. It really is. We're super proud of the place, and we hope to continue for many years. So yeah. So I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure there are a lot of people listening who kind of share a similar situation to where, like, me personally, like, outside of the center and outside of my friends who are, in the community, it's not something I can really freely talk about. Like it's cool at home, but, it's just something where it's like, all right, we get it. You know what I mean? So this is definitely a great place to come and just, you can just, there's no such thing as too gay here, which is what I'm trying to say, which is what I like.
Absolutely.
Challenge accepted.
Actually, that could be a challenge that we bring to our youth one Monday.
Yeah.
We'll just get out some random supplies, go shopping at the Dollar Tree, and
that'll
see
be an
what they come up
event.
with.
Can you be too gay for Outright?
Clear Hills.
Game on. Game on.
Oh, no.
We do have some youth that will participate in that.
And
Like,
exactly.
I can see that
We
with
could
some
make
of
it
our
a team
youth.
competition.
Oh, man.
How much glitter can you get on your body?
And everybody gets to do like a 2-minute skit or
Oh,
something.
no.
Oh my god, that would be
be
perfect.
Well, you've just witnessed the birth of yet another thing that the youth center is probably going to do.
And this gives it away if the kids are listening. Never mind. I was going to say what the lesson in the end is, but maybe you can figure it out yourself.
There you go.
If not, you'll just have to come and hang out.
And
you
even
should
if not,
come
this sounds like a lot of
anyways.
fun.
It's going to be fun, so exactly.
Well, Anna, thank you so much for being with us today
Yes, thank you
on
for
our
having me.
maiden voyage.
Thank you for having me. Yes.
Now, this would normally be the part of the show where we would open up the listener mail, as
Right.
it were. But obviously, since this is the inaugural episode, no one has heard this yet. So we don't have any questions, comments to read out. But for our next episode, if you like what you're hearing and you'd like to interact with the show, please send us a message on Facebook at Outright On Air. We'll also post a link to the Outright Youth website where you can email in. We'll also do an email address for the show. I'll talk to Marianne about that. Send us your questions or comments, things that you would like us to talk about on air. You can ask them of specific hosts. And one thing I want to mention is that we will have rotating hosts on the show. It will not be the same people every time. Sometimes it'll be more people, less people, different people. We're going to keep it fresh. And we want people who are involved with Outright, especially young people, especially, that diversity element. We want as many different kinds of voices on this show as possible. So if you're interested in being a part of the show also, send a message to @OutrightOnAir on Facebook and let us know how you'd like to interact with the show.
I'll also, when this goes up, I know me personally, I'm sure, Faith, you probably will too, but I'll be commenting under on the broadcast if any of you want to, if you need to talk to me personally, if it's easier for you, or if you just want to send me a friend request, it's totally fine either way for me. So I'm just putting that out there.
Well, did everybody have fun?
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun.
I was very nervous, and to be honest, I'm still pretty nervous, but I'm having fun, so,
But thank you all for listening. We hope that you've enjoyed this.
Can we do one thing?
Okay, if we can do one thing.
Okay, so we were talking, and
It's a podcast. All we've done is talk.
we were talking before the podcast, okay? Which is also a thing people do. They talk. But we were planning. And one of the things
you sure about that?
Yeah, no.
It was in there. You had to look
we were
for
supposed
it.
to be planning anyway.
Whose idea was this anyway?
But one of the things about one of my favorite podcasts is that they always end on a positive note. And so I thought that I would try this one for this time. And if you guys like it, then send us in comments and let us know that you like it and you want us to keep doing it. And if not, then give us some suggestions of what else we could do. So I have would you rather questions? Or just I have one. So I'm going to have one. And you have to give me... You have to give a reason why, too, though. You can't just
we don't have to adhere to a certain timestamp. We can keep going.
Yeah.
So, all right. So this one is, would you rather surf in shark-infested waters or jump free fall with a parachute into the Grand Canyon? And why?
Let's see.
Parachute.
So, all right, you answer first. So why?
Because I like heights. I seriously love heights. I love to fly. I love to be way up there.
Okay, so I have a question. I have a follow-up question.
And I've been to the Grand Canyon, and it's gorgeous.
I have a follow-up question for Faith. Why aren't you afraid of God?
Aren't there sharp, pointy rocks in the Grand Canyon?
Yes, but if you have a parachute...
If your parachute fails, you're going to hit the ground and you're going to die. The shark's going to take its time at eating you.
Okay, here's the thing. I thought
we were supposed to end on a happy note. My goodness.
Well,
which way do you want to die?
It's a pink shark.
I would like to lobby Congress for gay sharks, so... No, okay, but here's my reasoning. I'm gonna go with the sharks because, A, I am fat, so, first of all, I want to keep this much mass low. If you think I'm gonna trust an old Wendy's napkin on 4 strings to carry me to the bottom of the Grand Canyon, you are incorrect.
You gotta weigh the thing, though. You want to die fast or you want to die slow?
The only thing I'm weighing here is me, and it's too much. Okay, so... And
this is why I begged you to be on the show.
Okay.
What would be better is if we put the shark in the parachute and let him go into the Grand Canyon.
Okay, so... Okay.
So the moral of the story is put a parachute on a shark and throw it over the Grand Canyon.
I think that solves all of our problems.
As long as it's pink.
Now, here's why I would swim in shark-infested waters. Because, loophole, I'm from Florida, okay? So I'm not afraid of anything except for sharks. Well, never mind. But
where are you going with that?
I don't know, but I am afraid.
It's just a panic response, okay?
Anyway.
Words are just happening.
Anyway, what I am saying about these sharks, the ocean is technically shark-infested waters. Okay, you did not say how many sharks. So if I just have to, swim in the ocean 3 feet away from the shore, I'm all right with that. I snorkel. I'm not afraid of clams.
You have to surf.
Oh, wait, you have to surf?
Yeah, it was surfing in shark-infested waters.
Y'all really trying me today.
Nobody said you had to do it well.
Well, frankly, I like animals, and I trust sharks.
There are animals in the Grand Canyon.
Where? If you're parachuting down the Grand Canyon, you can't pet a squirrel while doing it.
If you can, you get points.
You can take a donkey.
Are you
ride
planning to
bottom,
pet the
so
shark?
There's gotta be animals there.
I have never pet a shark, and frankly, I would like to try it at least once.
My partner actually has pet a shark.
You can go to the Catawba Valley Science Center, and they have a really small aquarium, but they have small sharks, and you really can pet them. So,
Do they have large tanks where you can fight the shark?
you said you wanted to pet a shark.
We're
You've
not
reached the
fighting the
limit
shark.
of my
Okay,
experience.
well, it's not like I have one interest, D. I would also like to fight a shark.
We're not fighting the shark. We're not jumping the shark.
I have to Google that one for you.
Okay, so long story short, I'm going to swim in that water. I'm going to put my faith in the hands of God and sharks, if they had hands. And...
See, listeners, this is the fun we could have answering your questions.
Exactly.
Lily,
Yes.
What you gonna do,
what you
girl?
gonna do?
What am I going to do?
Two
I
roads
told you,
diverge in a wood.
I'm going to jump out of the plane.
Wait, now there's a
Literally,
plane?
up top.
Where's the plane coming
Where
from?
are you gonna parachute out of?
I thought we were just gonna stand on the edge. I thought we were gonna like born ultimatum.
So I can pet you.
The problem with a parachute is you have to be a certain height up or it's not going to open in time.
Okay,
I'm gonna use an old Wendy's napkin.
listen. I am not saying that I would use an old Wendy's napkin because I cherish Wendy's memorabilia.
How about this? You put the parachute on and go surfing with a shark.
Okay.
You go parasailing with a shark. See, we've married them.
Wait.
Now
Okay,
we've married them.
There we go.
And
Okay,
it's a pink shark.
I will happily
Colors.
parasail over
We're
a herd of
shark-infested
sharks.
waters.
There we go. Well, are the
Okay.
sharks mad? I mean, like, how are they feeling?
You
They're
mean that
dancing
they
to
just
disco. How's that?
Well, I don't know. I'm just upset now. You guys have made me mad.
This has been a magical experience.
All right,
That's what
I
the
guess.
shark said.
Okay.
I guess I would much rather surf in shark-infested waters because then I have something to focus on, which is surfing. Which is surfing, okay? I have to focus on surfing and getting out there and getting back, okay? A parachute, you have to focus on
Landing.
parachute
You have to
thing,
focus on
and
landing.
then you have to focus on but that's too much for me, and I have anxiety, and my brain just, it makes things
Girl,
spin around in circles.
How are you not going to land? You got
And-
gravity at your back. You just think, like, if I don't focus, I'm staying up here forever?
No, but I have too much time to think, so I would just freak out.
Oh, no.
Okay, what if
So, I
the
would
shark
much
comes
rather.
by on the surfboard?
Can we put a shark
Wait,
on a
there's a
surfboard?
shark on a surfboard?
Has science gone too far?
Then I'll wave to it, I guess. If anyone out there can draw and you want us to send us a picture of a shark on a surfboard.
First of all, I'm going to make this dream a reality
No,
right now.
somebody call
Feel
Steven
free.
Spielberg. I think we have a new Jaws sequel in the works.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
and
gonna-
you thought Sharknado was
Peppy,
too much.
Peppy the pink shark. He's wearing gold chains, disco boots.
Are there flashing lights?
Charlie, the artist, is already at work.
I'm going to copyright this immediately.
You be the mascot for the show.
I'm going to name...
Actually, I like that idea.
This is Humphrey. He's...
No, his name's Peppy.
Yeah, Lily already named.
You,
Lily, you got to name the cat.
Sorry.
wait, I spent...
No. The shark's name is Finster.
First of all,
Peppy.
I'm being pulled in a million different directions, and I can't handle it. I spent upwards of at least 4.5 seconds on this shark on a surfboard. So we need to get it together. What's its name?
And what's its pronouns?
Clearly, we're going to have to think about this, and we will get back to you on the next episode and let you know what the mascot
if
is.
you care at all about the dramatic conclusion to this, let us know in the comments.
Well, I think what's most important is that whoever the shark is, and whatever their name is, they're just happy to be here. Which is a lot like me. Right
And
now.
they are welcome at the Outright Youth Center.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, actually, no. Let's not tell children that we've got sharks waiting. Like, come, gay children, meet the sharks.
We have enough problems with that already. We don't
what
need
do you-
to add to that.
I have had a blast. Thank you all so much for this. So
I had fun.
We will see you all for the next episode. My thanks to my other hosts, to our special guest, Anna. We will see you next time.
Oh, we should
Goodbye.
also probably mention that we record every 2 weeks.
We did.
Oh, never mind then.
Yeah. I do need to give a shout out to the band Something Clever. who were generous enough to let us use the opening theme that you heard at the beginning of the show. They are a rock band based out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Their new album, Season of Light, is available now wherever you download music legally, wherever you legally pay for download music. Do not steal their music. I will find you.
Yeah, we'll know.
Or they will.
But they're a fantastic band. Something clever. Please check them out. So with that, thank you all for listening and take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you.